Hey there, welcome to the Real Vets podcast. This is episode number 5, I believe. And my name's Tyson. I'm a realtor, Air Force veteran, F-15 crew chief. It says right there. And we got Tony.
Tony. Oh yeah, you changed my name, so it's Tony Dayton. I'm a law officer with Edge Finance.
You thought I left that on there. I was messing with his name. I can edit everything on here.
Gives total power.
It was awesome. It took you a while. You saw it. It was pretty cool. Well, first off, let's get the episode started here. Please like and subscribe. It's really important to this channel in satisfying the almighty algorithm, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever else. Please like and subscribe. I think I put them up here last time. There might be one here. There might be one there. Putting them all over the place. We are also, yeah, right. I'm going to put one on your forehead. You watch it. And boom, there it is on its forehead, just like that.
That'll be fitting for how you started my name.
Oh yeah. You know what they say about big foreheads, right? But please like and subscribe. You can listen or watch us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Amazon. What else are we on? We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on a bunch of different ones, actually. They all syndicate out. It's really fun. Yeah, so please like and subscribe. I'm just rolling with this one today. Tony, how you doing?
How you doing? I think I'm doing pretty well. As for the mortgage industry, it feels like business is picking up. And that's always good, right? So
Yeah.
staying busy. Uh, Life is going well. Um, my kid's doing fast pitch. Oh my god, high school fast pitch is like just added like 3 nights a week to my schedule. So, um, so yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you coach or ref it at all or anything like that?
I used to coach for her. I coach an adult soft pitch team, slow pitch softball team. But so a lot of the girls that are on our high school team, I was actually their coach when we won like a championship. I got a cool picture back there in the background of us and the team. Uh, yeah, we won a championship, and a bunch of those girls are actually on the high school team now, which is cool. But my daughter doesn't like me being coach, so I get to just be dad and watch and try to bite my tongue and just let her coaches correct her and do all that stuff. And I haven't been in here.
You ever got kicked off the pitch yet?
Huh?
You ever gotten kicked out of the game yet?
No. I haven't got kicked out of the game yet. No. My wife's gotten close.
I think
But
my wife would be that way. My wife,
yeah,
she'll be the lady just yelling like crazy, and they'll be like, "Get her out of here!"
get her out. You're out of here.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I've been having fun. Just it has picked up. Business has been picking up. I've been driving a lot of places, showing a lot of houses, talking to people about listing houses, and then sending people your way to talk to them about getting a loan. So it's been picking up. It's been nice, and I hope it keeps doing so. I'd like to stay busy. Yeah, but that brings us to our topic for today. And our topic today is manufactured homes and the VA loan program and some of the differences involved with manufactured homes versus stick-built homes. And we're going to dive into that here. And Tony, what do you think one of the biggest differences is between a manufactured home and a stick-built home?
Well, I mean, the biggest difference is one's built in a factory and one's built on the lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean
Uh,
that's it's in the name, stick built on the property versus manufactured in a
Right?
facility, and lots of different
Like,
things come with that. Um, one's
yeah,
one's driven down the road in pieces and then assembled, and the other one's brought in smaller pieces and assembled.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think uh, I think perspective is probably another big difference. Like the way you
Yeah,
kind of look at it. I mean, it depends on your market or the area you're in. Like for our area around here, manufactured homes picked up quite a bit of value. So you can get a manufactured home set and on a piece of land for cheaper than it would be to buy a house. Right?
yeah,
You can do it. I've done it several times this year. Um, uh, it's but the thing about it to understand is that if the next 3 years says we're going to gain 15% in equity, you're going to gain 7.5.
mm,
Right. So, I mean, you're still going to gain equity and you're still going to pay down your mortgage. It's still a great thing. But
mhm,
I'm finding it's really that starting point. That starting point is what really makes it worth it because you could set a manufactured home if you get a land between 50 and 100 grand for between 275 to $300,000 or three hundred fifty
yeah.
thousand dollars. You can set a manufactured home in places. Now you got to find the right land, but in places where you can't buy a home for under 400,000.
I mean, you get your bang for your buck even with size of a square footage for your family doing it that way too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get a four bedroom double wide or even a triple wide, you're gonna pay less than you would for a stick built.
And I mean, they're beautiful now. The way they build them is beautiful.
It's
The
completely
walls are
different
still
from how
pretty
they built
thick.
them 30 years ago.
Oh yeah, like it's not Kid Rock, just straight out the trailer like you see on his
Oh,
music video.
there's the
Just to
old
show
like
yeah.
70-80 single wide with aluminum wiring inside of it, and it looks like some guy just hook up his Bronco to it and drag it off somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Right? I mean, they're definitely out there. And what's
Yeah.
crazy, and those are the ones when you think of it, when you think manufactured home, you think of that single wide, sitting in the park, beat to heck. That's kind of what you think of.
Yeah, and I had someone ask me, and I was just like, "No, it's not an RV. That's completely different. Like that's got like a cab and you can drive on it. That's not a manufactured home. That is completely different. That's a vehicle." And funny enough, manufactured homes, when they come in pieces, they come with VIN numbers because they're going down the road, and then when they get placed, you have the VIN number eliminated and have a title put on it, correct?
Yeah. That's the title elimination process, and they
Mhm.
eliminate the title of the vehicle and make it attach it to real estate property, and it then becomes real property.
Yeah.
But in the guidelines, it says manufactured homes classified as real property or something like that. Like is the
Yeah.
title in the VA guidelines.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, the VA is they're strict about it, but they're also one of the most forgiving loan types when it comes to manufactured homes. Um,
I think one of the highlights, one of the things we need to highlight here would be June 15th, 1976 or newer, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's when HUD started.
yep. That's when HUD started. That's when the IBTS reports and the thing that all the people in the business get confused. I think between the HUD tags and the data plate. Um, a lot of people, when I say data plate, they're looking at the HUD tags on the outside, like that's the data plate. I'm like, no, that's the HUD tag. The one on the inside that is a piece of paper, they call that a data plate.
It's
I don't
usually
know.
usually on manufactured homes, it's like, isn't it like inside of a cabinet or something like that?
Yeah, water heater cabinet somewhere in there. It's basically the wind dynamics of the property, or basically the wind dynamics of how much wind it can withstand.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um,
And one thing to note about these things is they're built in a factory, but I mean they're built in a way that they're so structural that they can go down the road in pieces
mhm.
and not fall apart. And so there's a lot of structure that is built into a manufactured home. And so, I mean, they're not the same that they were 30, 40 years ago. How they're built today is very comparable in a lot of ways to a stick-built home from the thickness of the I mean, I walked in a manufactured home built in the 80s about 2 days ago, and the walls were about that thin between some of the bedrooms. It was just and it was wood paneling, and but then you go into a manufactured home today, and it's a lot of it's regular 2 before construction.
Hmm. I thought they were mostly built 1x2s, but
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I'm not
It
sure. I've
looks
seen
like
it
2
seen
before
it in
construction.
plans
Some
like
of the
that.
the walls, they look like normal walls to me.
Yeah, yeah, and they're just a little thinner still, I think. Well, I need to go into one of the new ones and really see what it's because like it's been a while since I've been in a brand new one.
I mean, when I go into the 80s ones, they're noticeably different.
Yeah,
The thinness of the walls is noticeably different. It looks like they went to Home Depot and got that really cheap thin stock and built a wall out of it and threw quarter-inch sheetrock on it and called it a day. I
yeah,
mean, it looks like that. But then you go into a brand new one and you're just like, oh wow, are those quartz countertops? Are those regular size walls? Is this a triple wide?
right.
There are some triple wides I
Let's
walk into
go.
them. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some of them I walk into and I'm like, oh crap, this is a manufactured home. I didn't realize it from the outside. There's a lot of those. And just to be clear, there are also modular homes, which are different than manufactured homes, but in the eyes of loans, they're classed as stick-built homes. So I believe they come in smaller pieces, but they're still all assembled on the property.
Yeah,
So, but they fall under the regular loan type of a stick-built home.
yeah. I think if you're gonna buy a manufactured home, here's what you need to know. When you're looking at them, the first things you need to be looking at. I mean, obviously, you want to look for that HUD tag on the outside, the
Mhm.
data on the inside. Check and make sure they're there, right? Because if they're not there, it's a heck of a lot cheaper to get it at the beginning of the transaction than rushing to get it at the end. The
Yeah.
next thing to look out for on manufactured homes that can cause a lot of headache would be attachments to the home, right?
Oh
Porches.
yeah.
I mean, if there's an addition on
Decks.
that thing, you better get real nervous if there's an addition because if that addition wasn't approved by L&I and it's attached to the property, that loan ain't closing.
Yeah, I mean that's another big difference between manufactured homes and stick built. They are governed by L&I in regards to adding on porches, decks, anything like that, anything attached. Now you can have a deck, but it has to be self-supporting. It has to be standing on its own. It cannot be attached like to the home. Like it can't be
I,
bolted onto the home.
haven't you literally detached a deck on one of our deals?
I think we did.
I think we had a guy had to detach a deck and then have the engineer come out and certify the foundation again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel like we had to do that.
Yeah, so if you want to make any major modifications to a manufactured home, you have to get a hold of L&I and get a permit to do so. And you need to keep a hold of that because if
It's,
you didn't get a permit and you modified it, that loan ain't going through.
you got the roof, you got the any of the heating elements, right? There's probably some plumbing and stuff. I actually just recently went over. It's like a month and a half ago. I just went over the list again, but uh, I wasn't prepared to name them all off right now. But there is a list. You can go on LNI's website how to uh, repair your manufactured home or permits for a manufactured home, and it's pretty easy to find. It's got everything. If you repair this, you have to um,
Yeah.
contact LNI, pre-permit, all that stuff. Um,
Mhm.
I think the last thing to touch on was being how VA will allow. Doesn't matter how many times it's moved.
Yeah, you can actually a home that's been at one property and then sold and someone comes and takes it back apart and moves it and reassembles it on another property. The VA is, I believe, the only loan type that will let you get a loan on that.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've done it, you and me. We've
Yeah,
done them. And besides the fact that it's been moved, there wasn't really much of a difference in the loan. I didn't feel like I mean, there might have been on your end, but on my end, there wasn't.
there's three inspections in the guidelines. You got to make sure the roof's still sealed. the plumbing and electrical all have to be permitted. There might be
Yeah.
a
I think we've done 2 or 3 of them where the manufactured home has been moved.
Yeah.
But I really didn't notice much of a difference between that and just on one that'd been sitting in regards to the process of the loan type on my end or the customer's end.
just pause for a second. Yeah, I'm recording. I'm recording podcast. I told Andy that. No, we got about 15 more minutes.
I'm gonna keep him for another 30. Don't worry, my wife's asking the same questions. You done yet?
Right? I hope we can't hear them in the background. But.
You know, I could a little bit. So what was it we just talked about? Because I think we can just retouch on it.
It was the move twice manufactured home.
Okay. Oh, here. I'm gonna hit record and I'm just gonna start talking again.
It's already recording. You never stopped it. Twice. Huh?
Now start.
Okay. Yeah, moving the man home twice and getting those inspections done. I mean, VIA is very lenient for that. And it does make it kind of nice, you know. I mean, to have the ability to buy those move twice homes actually kind of gives the veteran an opportunity to find a home at a discount, you know.
Yeah, because any home that's been moved is going to be cheaper than a home that's on its original placement. But that brings up another question is one of the biggest difference between a VA loan on a stick built and a VA loan on a manufactured home is the rate is different usually, right?
Yeah. So every lender that I've worked with, and I mean, I've worked with, as a broker, I work with a lot of them, right? But in the last few years, I've noticed that they all have kind of a different charge for a manufactured home, right? So whether it's a quarter point charge, a half point charge, 2 point charge, different lenders charge differently for manufactured homes, basically saying, yeah, we want a loan on a bunch of these, or yeah, we don't want a loan. Basically,
Right. Right. And what is the main reason behind charging a different rate versus between the two?
risk. It's going to be risk. So
Risk.
the risk of the fact that they don't gain as much equity. I mean, only here in the Northwest that I feel is that there's a huge gap in the cost to put one of these together and the actual value. Right in the Midwest, I don't feel it's quite the same. You know, and so and you got to remember when they write these rules, they're writing them federally. You know, so I mean, they're not. The gap's not as the gap's pretty big here. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've got site set up. You've got if it's not in town, you've got well, you've got septic. If you're of course if you're building and you're putting all that in,
Yeah,
you
and I
have
think we
all of
talked
that.
about that in an earlier episode, didn't we?
Yeah. If you want to know more about building with a manufactured home, go watch our other episodes. That's what they're there for. Please watch the other episodes. We need more views. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Anyways, gosh, so what else is there to talk about on manufactured homes? I mean, I find them fascinating and really easy to like. One thing I will say about a manufactured home in regards to building is you get more of a timeline to put a manufactured home in than you do a stick built where you're waiting for it to get built. You know, you kind of can judge the timeline a little more based off the availability of the home.
I can put out. I'm still on the hunt for, as a broker, um, a hard money lender that will loan on rural manufactured homes as an investor. So
Like for somebody to buy it, fix up the home and the barn, and then put it on the market as like a
yeah,
out in the country homestead.
Yeah, or do a land loan package, or land home package for it too,
Yeah.
on an investor, right? So I can do it as an investment property, but I want like a private money, hard money uh,
Yeah.
lender to be able to just, hey, yep, here's, your 300, your $250,000, and we'll buy off the land, and you can go get the man home and do the draws for the site prep, and away you go. Um,
Mhm.
and if there's anybody interested in doing that, I'll definitely coach whoever wants to be coach and talk numbers and market, and I get all excited about it. I'm as passionate as I can see is the look on your face right now.
I've thought about as the business grows, getting into that, like getting an investment property, putting some work into it, redoing it and everything, and then turning around and listing it. I'm actually, um, speaking of which, it's kind of a different program, but I'm thinking you could do the same thing with it. I have a client that we are, they have a home that they inherited from their brother who passed, unfortunately, in Tacoma, and they exhausted all their money putting a roof on it and doing a few things to it, and they wanted to live in it, but then they ran out of money, so they wanted to sell it. So they got a hold of me. And I mean, this home, how it sat with all the work it needed to be done. I mean, it hadn't been painted in like 30 years in Washington. In
Yeah.
Washington. That's a big deal in Washington because you got to keep the outside sealed. I mean, you're looking at 250 for this house in downtown Tacoma for all the work that had to be put in. But we're using a program called House Amp, which basically evaluates the home, checks to see roughly what equity there is in the home, and then says, "Hey, we'll loan you X amount and we'll pay the contractors directly to make repairs. We'll charge this percent fee. We'll put a lien on the property, and we'll get paid back when you sell it." And I think it's like 4 months without interest. And so they're putting about 70K into it. Now that 70K is going to let that home sell for over 400,000
Yeah.
because it's going to have a new kitchen. Everything's going to be painted. The floors are going to be redone. The siding's going to be fixed. It's going to be sealed. That might even let us get some lawn work done. So it's going to go from a fixer upper to a full turnkey home. And I was actually waiting to hear back from them if they are open to somebody using them over and over again, kind of as a hard money lender. So,
Yeah.
but House Amp, really cool. Here, I'll put the icon right here, and I will put a link to House Amp in the description. I have access to it through my brokerage.
Definitely put a
And
link, because if you Google house amp, guess what comes up?
what?
House amps.
House amps, right? No, we don't want that. No, that's not going to get you anywhere. No, we want the company House Amp through Realty One Group. So House Amp through Realty One Group, and they've been great to work with so far. They've made the process so easy. The contractor's starting Wednesday, and I believe we have like a month and a half to a 2-month time period of being done. And we're going to try to make a video series actually for the whole thing from before and after. And
Oh, wow.
so it'll be really cool. But this is a program that anybody can you say you need to sell your house, but you're like, I need to get that fixed. Otherwise, I'm either going to get a bunch of low offers or it's going to sit in the market a long time. So you're just like, I don't have any money, but I need a roof done. You can get it done with this. If I need the house repainted, if I'm going to even have a chance of getting this sold in the time period I want for anywhere near the dollar amount I want, you can use this program to do that. So I think it's really cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. And that brings us close to the end of the show here where we're going to talk about market temp. But that is Tony.
I think it's great to finish on that, because if we do it on every podcast, you can kind of see how it changes and grows, right? Um, uh, so the market temp, it's starting to catch a little fever. It's start. I feel like we're starting to kind of see a shift. We were in a point where desperate sellers would give up everything to sell their home for a hot second. Not every house was like that, but many, many, many were. And those who were patient enough to wait it's starting to feel like it's coming back around a little bit. You know, the excessive amount of closing costs that we were getting is thinning out. You know, I feel like if I'm over $15,000 asking for closing costs, you know, or something like that, I feel like it's getting a little bit more. Just not a lot, not a lot. Like I think the opportunity is definitely still out there, especially, and you got to
Yeah.
think there's homes that are great and homes that aren't great. So
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that's affecting that is competition. When you don't have any
yeah,
competition and you're the only one putting an offer in, you have the opportunity to ask for those things. But the moment there is another person on the other side and you're playing poker and you have no idea what hand they're playing, it makes you second guess, how am I going to go about this? Am I going to offer asking and then ask for closing costs? Or am I going to go over asking by the closing costs I need to close this loan?
yeah, to finance them in basically.
Yeah,
At that point,
finance
you're
them in.
financing closing costs.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
financing them in, but and then it's coming to me and you and being like, "Hey, how does this affect me dollar wise doing it this way? Is it worth going over asking but getting it back in a credit?" And that's when I go to you with that question, and then you do your magic with your numbers and tell us, "Hey, it's gonna, yep, it's worth it. It's gonna save them this," or like, "Hey, I don't know, we might need more."
yeah, I'm always, and it's kind of a tough call, right? Because
It
like the
is.
Fed was, everyone thought in January, February, everyone thought that the Fed was going to cut rates in March, right? And then all of a sudden they changed their tune. And I swear that there was, like, they knew what they were doing almost. It feels like at this
Mhm.
point, looking back at it, they're like trying not to let the housing market completely die off and
Mhm.
give that juice, that market a little juice. And by
Yeah.
the way they were talking, it's, I mean, I don't want to get into like a conspiracy, but the way they were talking just made it, they're purposely using their words to make the shifts be a lot slower and a lot calmer than we were
Yeah.
in March, because the market would have dropped and there would have been a frenzy.
I'd
And
like
so,
it to I'd like it to pick up a little more personally, and I have liked it started to pick up, but I want it to pick up a little more.
well, and it makes it tough, right? It makes it tough on a guy like me when I'm trying to be honest with my clients. I'm kind of like, hey, this is what we're, this is what could possibly happen. I mean, it's never a guarantee, but I feel like in my mind, I like to just kind of go with reality. I look at reality. What do I think the next step is? And I make my market decisions based on that. And I feel
Mhm.
like I do a really good job with it, and I think like in June, I really do feel like we're going to come up on that again. And of course, if the facts keep going the way they're going, the facts, they should cut rates in June. So then in June, it'll be a little bit hotter market, right? Um, but I don't, I mean, we could get all the way up to there and we're all like anticipating it. And then a month before, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to just continue to, because the inflation's numbers came in a little hotter than expected and stuff like that. So that's why they kind of slowed down, and so, and interest rates follow inflation. That's pretty much been the history of interest rates, and then they cut, and that was the whole idea behind raising the rates, was that it would help curb inflation, so maybe shortly behind it's gonna fall. I feel like it's gonna pick back up. I feel like it's gonna get a little bit of a frenzy, not nothing like we experienced in 2020, but it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be tough in the mortgage world because a lot of people quit. A lot of mortgage officers quit, and what's left is a lot of experienced mortgage officers, right? So the ones who survived. So
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I anticipate that it's gonna get better. The market's gonna get better for, buyers, especially if interest rates come down. It'll be way better for buyers, but that's when the frenzy's gonna hit too. So it's gonna be kinda like, yeah,
is it
it's
better?
better, but guess what? The price just went up to get the house now. You know what I
It's
mean?
better to buy now. It is
Yeah,
way better to buy now.
yeah.
It,
You got less
it,
competition. you're buying it at today's price, not tomorrow's price when the frenzy happens. And then in 6 months, when it does drop, hopefully, you're the guy refining, not the guy buying.
Yeah. Doing paying
So,
20K over appraisal or something with an
yeah, I mean,
80, with risking 20 grand just to hope it
it
comes
makes it,
appraised value so you don't have to fork the 20K out of your pocket to get it done, you know.
yeah, yeah, nobody likes to do that.
I think we
Nobody
got
likes
some
to
time.
do
We'll talk more about market temp next week, and just
Yeah.
as we let's see. I'm gonna make a bold. I'm gonna make a bold decision that I think the average. I think the average interest rate right now, if you were to Google it, I think it says 6.75. So I think if you Google the average interest rate in uh, around June, it's going to be like 6.25, right? That that's the kind of drop I think is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
So just
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. So I'm telling people that, you know, you're probably not going to see a rate below 5 for years. You know, that people that are
it,
looking for 4s, I don't think it's going to
it,
happen.
it'll be advertised there. I mean, they're advertising 4.99 right now in some places.
Mhm.
I've seen it, but
Yeah.
look at the APR on it. The APR is like 6.5.
Hmm.
APR, that's like $30,000 to close that home at a 4.9.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta look at the APR. The APR is astronomically higher. The APR is the cost to do the loan, right? That's the cost measured in a percentage rate that it costs to do the loan. So,
Gotcha.
and when you start to see gaps, I mean, FHA is a bigger gap because of the mortgage insurance premium and stuff. But you got to kind of pay attention to that. That's the number.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good one
But
to wrap on.
we're getting here at the end here. And we want to thank you for watching the podcast. We're trying to grow it as much as possible. Share it to your friends, share it to your family, share it to your base commander. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Walk on the sergeant's lawn to get it over to him. But yes, please, once again, like and subscribe. And y'all lost the game. I got all y'all right here. And and we will catch you next time on the Real Vets podcast. Thanks for watching.